For this week's video, we're doing a new series, so this is the first in the series of weird mics. So this is weird microphones. A traditional microphone records audio by converting sound waves, usually transmitted through the air, into electrical signals, which can be recorded and then played back. For the first mic in this series, we're looking at the Telephone Pick Up Coil microphone. I'm calling it a microphone, but it's a telephone pickup coil. These are very cheap now. They're widely available on eBay and other sites. I paid, I think, under £5 for it. So I've just bought a generic one. If they're any good, I might invest later on in a higher quality version of it. Their intended purpose was to allow recordings of analog phone handsets. So like an old-fashioned phone handset like the emoji, that you can have a speaker which puts out sound that you hear, but there was no way of recording audio from them other than recording what was coming out of the microphone. This is before the days of smartphones. So the way that you could record this audio would be with a telephone coil pickup, which would mount on the outside of the phone, and then it would record the sound coming out. Where it wouldn't record the sound, I'll show in a second. So let's get a demonstration up and running so we can see what we're talking about. So I've got the telephone pickup coil, which is terminated with a TS connector. So it's a 3.5 like the headphones used to be, but this has only got two connectors, a tip and a sleeve, rather than the TRS, which is the three connectors on a standard plug. So to connect it to my audio recorder, I need to plug it in. So I've got here a Rode XLR. So this is a converter from 3.5 to XLR, which is what the recorder takes. This one doesn't seem to play nicely with this. I think it may be because it's expecting a TRS plug, which is tip ring sleeve, and this is only a TS plug, which is tip sleeve. So to get around that, I've used an inline volume control, which you can get, which takes in the signal, which is a TRS signal, and then outputs it as another signal. I think it's also TRS, but you can adjust the volume in between. I'm not going to be using that function, well, not for its intended purpose, but we'll see how that works. So I'm going to plug the microphone into one end of this, and then plug the other end into the converter, and then that into plug one of the recorder. And then power it on. So now I've connected it to the recorder. Little details about the recording settings. This is a Zoom F3. I'm currently recording at 128 times gain. On the Zoom F3 you don't have a decibel scale gain because it's a 32-bit recorder. You have a time scale. It doesn't really matter which you set it as because it's a 32-bit file or a 32-bit recording workflow, so it records the same signal regardless. But to make it easier in post-processing, you try to get the levels about right. So I've set it at 128 times gain for the microphone, and I've turned off all kinds of power to it. It's being registered as a microphone, but without any phantom power to it. So if I bring in a phone, so this is a wireless phone, so we might end up with popping and cracking due to the wireless nature of it. And I stick on the recorder onto the back of it. So if I mount it on there, it doesn't want to stick, so it always wants to pop off, so that's not good for a start. So I think I'm just going to have to hold it on there or rest it like that. I don't think it needs to be physically in contact like a contact mic would, which we'll look in a future video. So if I tell it to record, and then I'm going to call that phone and we'll see if we get any signals. So you can hear that it's picked up the sound. Let me be clear, this isn't recording the audio coming out of the phone speaker as we traditionally understand it. It's recording the changes in electromagnetic field. This could be due to two factors. It could be due to the electromagnetic field change, due to the phone's circuitry changing the voltage of electromagnet up and down to power the speaker, or it could be due to the speaker magnet moving itself. You see, I can scream and shout into this thing and it picks up no audio whatsoever. This does open up some interesting possibilities though. So instead of recording just sounds we can hear, we can now record things we can't hear. So for example, I've got an electric drill. I'm going to plug in another mic. So this is a shotgun microphone as well. So in channel 1, I've got the electro telephone pickup mic, and in channel 2 I have a traditional shotgun mic. So that's capturing the sound as it comes through the air, and this one's capturing the electromagnetic waves created by the device. So if I now put this on the drill and then I spin it slowly, so this is at lowest setting. So that produces a wide range of sounds, and some of them are amplified, so you hear some traditional sounds which you think you would hear, but you hear other sounds which aren't picked up. This also opens up the opportunity to record sounds which are completely inaudible to human hearing. So here I have a Raspberry Pi. This is the 4 gig version, but I don't think that makes any difference. So I'm going to put the electromagnetic mic on top of it and see if we pick up any sounds as it boots up. So this is just the sound coming from the device, and as you can hear when I had the quiet, the device itself makes no sound whatsoever. It's in a passive case, so it makes absolutely no sound when you haven't got an electromagnetic recorder on it. But you can hear, I think most of it's being blocked by the case itself, but you can hear where I put it in specific places that ever so often there's a pulse of energy. This is likely to be something like a looking for Wi-Fi signal, or some sort of wireless signal that's connecting from the Pi to the outside world and sending out bursts of information. You can't obviously hear these in day-to-day life because they're outside of human hearing. They're in the electromagnetic range rather than any audible. So now I'm going to do the same thing again, but instead of listening to the device, I'm going to listen to the plug. So the plug is converting from mains electricity down to 5 volts, which the Pi uses, and I'll see if there is any differences between how it's booting up. So let's test that. It's completely silent in human hearing, so there's no point using the other mic for it. I actually found the mic, this pickup, is more effective if you turn it upside down. This is likely due to the coil being closer to that side, rather than having to go through the plastic sucker, which doesn't work very well. So when you're looking for ideas to record with a thing for sound effects, it can be anything that's electronic. So I can hear that there's a cycling pulse coming from the recorder. And if I hold it up to the camera, of course, probably the device that everyone has that produces the most noise will be their phone. So how does this device work? So the device is made out of a fine coil of wire, so that you have a fine wire that's coated in some sort of insulating property, and then it's wrapped around on itself hundreds of times, probably between 1,000 and 2,000 times, and then it's encased in a plastic container. The two ends of that wire then are connected to the two ends of the plug, so you have one that's for the positive and one for the negative. When it's exposed to an electromagnetic field, so that's anything that has an electricity running through it will produce a field, or something that produces a field like Wi-Fi or any cellular, or anything that produces a field like that, this will pick it up. So it's quite a localized effect, so you have to touch the object itself, which is producing the EM radiation, but it can pick up things in the air as well. It's another useful tool in the filmmaker's kit, particularly for sound designers or people who like sound experimenting with sound music or noise music. I'm keen to test other things and see what noises they make, and to see how I can manipulate these samples and turn them into useful sound effects. If anyone has any recommendations for things to test, or a sampler engine, so like a DAW with a nice sampler engine, I'm open for recommendations, so please add them to the comments below and I'll check out your recommendations. So I'm now just going to leave this with a couple more tests to see what we can hear. So I've grabbed an electric toothbrush because I thought this has a motor in it, this will produce lovely sounds. So I've got the natural sound coming from the microphone, which is here, and I'm going to put the pickup on it. So I'll put it on the top probably, and that's now recording. So I've got a set of Bluetooth headphones. They're not actually connected to anything at the moment. So I'm transmitting the Bluetooth information from my phone, so I'm doing the latest video and it's going to the phone, but obviously you can't hear anything because it's being blinded by the amount of Bluetooth information that's gone through. Let me turn it up to maximum volume, see if... I bought it back in shop, so it didn't get any cost for delivery or anything. So all opinions are my own. So you can't hear it from the back side, but if you put it so I can improve my videos, you can actually hear it. More physical graphics in there that I create on camera for other crafting projects. It came with the SMALLRIG paper, so these are... So if you were planning to record audio like this, a wireless headset would be no good. The interference because of the Bluetooth is far too strong for any real audio to be picked up. It would work probably with a simplised wired headset to pick it up that way, but with audio, or if it was audio that you could listen to, you might be better off just putting, say, a lavalier mic in the headset just to record it that way, instead of trying to record it via the electromagnetic radiation by the speaker. If you've enjoyed this video, I'm planning to review a contact mic for next week's video, so please subscribe so you'll be notified when it was released next Monday. If you would like to use any of the samples collected as part of this video, please find them at the Bandcamp link below. I've made them free so anyone can use them for any projects they want, or any videos or any music.